The moment you stop needing control over everything is the moment you finally gain control over yourself. Most of us were taught that attachment is what gives us security and a sense of belonging. But what if I told you that the opposite is true? What if attachment is the very thing creating our suffering, our anxiety, and our emotional exhaustion? This is the core teaching behind the power of detachment. And let's be clear, detachment is not about being cold or uncaring. It's about gaining clarity, building emotional strength, and mastering inner discipline. Today, we're going to dive deep into how practicing detachment can free your mind, sharpen your focus, and fundamentally strengthen your self-control. This isn't just a philosophy. It's a practical tool for a more powerful and peaceful life. So, what is detachment really? First and foremost, detachment is not indifference. It is a heightened state of awareness. It doesn't mean you stop caring about people or your goals. It simply means you stop letting your emotions run the show and dictate your actions. Think of it like this. You can observe a storm from inside a sturdy house without having to stand outside in the rain. That's what emotional discipline is. You learn to observe your thoughts and feelings without immediately reacting to them. You can feel an emotion fully, whether it's anger, sadness, or joy, without becoming that emotion. This gives you the space to consciously choose your response instead of being a slave to your impulses. This is where true self-mastery begins, in that small gap between a feeling and your reaction to it. Next, a critical step in practicing detachment is learning to let go of outcomes and instead focus purely on your effort. So many of us are chained to the results we want. We get so attached to a specific outcome, getting the job, winning the game, receiving praise, that the fear of not achieving it paralyzes us with pressure and anxiety. Detachment flips this script. It frees you to pour all your energy into the process itself, into the effort you put in, and into the growth you experience along the way. The motivational lesson here is simple but profound. Do your absolute best, and then release the result. Trust that your consistent effort will compound over time. True freedom begins the moment your dedication to the process becomes more important than your attachment to the final prize. This leads us to another powerful benefit. Detachment builds incredible emotional strength. When you're attached, you're constantly looking outside of yourself for validation, for approval, for a sense of worth. Your happiness becomes dependent on external factors. You can't control other people's opinions, your career success, your relationship status. Detachment breaks this cycle of dependency. As you practice it, you'll find that an unshakable inner stability begins to replace the constant emotional chaos. Your confidence starts to grow from within, rooted in your own self-worth, not in external praise. Peace stops being a temporary visitor and becomes a permanent resident in your mind. This emotional independence is the real definition of power. It's the ability to stand strong, calm, and centered, no matter what storms are raging around you. Another transformative aspect of detachment is that it teaches you to stop taking everything so personally. Let's be honest, a huge amount of our emotional pain doesn't come from what actually happens, but from the story we tell ourselves about what happens. It comes from our interpretation. Detachment helps you create a healthy distance between facts and your assumptions. It's a self-growth tool that reminds you that not every action someone takes is a comment on you. Not every negative thought that pops into your head deserves your full attention and belief. And most importantly, not every feeling requires an immediate, dramatic reaction. When you stop personalizing everything, a beautiful thing happens. Clarity replaces overthinking. You see situations for what they are, not for what your ego fears they might be. When your mind is no longer cluttered with emotional noise and overthinking, your focus sharpens dramatically. This is how detachment directly improves your decision-making. Imagine trying to navigate a complex maze while loud sirens are blaring in your ears. It's nearly impossible. That's what it's like trying to make wise choices when your mind is in emotional turmoil. Detachment turns down the volume on that internal noise. It creates a calm, quiet space where you can think clearly, act wisely, and respond intelligently. A calm mind is a powerful mind. It can see the bigger picture, weigh options logically, and execute with stronger discipline. Better choices naturally follow a clearer mind. Finally, it's crucial to understand that detachment is about freedom, not about loss. Many people resist this idea because they think it means they'll lose their ambition, their dreams, or their connections with people they love. But that's a misunderstanding. You don't lose the things that matter. What you lose is the fear, the desperation, and the emotional exhaustion that come from clinging to them too tightly. Detachment doesn't weaken your ambition. It fuels it with calm resilience instead of frantic anxiety. You can still pursue your goals with passion, but you're no longer crushed if things don't go exactly as planned. You can still love people deeply, but your love comes from a place of freedom, not from a place of neediness. So as we wrap up, remember this. The power of detachment ultimately teaches us that true freedom begins inside. When you consciously decide to release your grip on controlling outcomes, on needing external validation, and on emotional dependency, you gain something far more valuable. You gain peace, you gain strength, you gain clarity, and you gain unbreakable self-discipline. Because true power isn't about controlling every aspect of your life. That's an impossible and exhausting task. True power is about mastering your response to life, no matter what it throws your way. Thank you for watching. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building a stronger, more disciplined mind.